Good evening, guys. I am in the most uncomfortable position right now, but we are going to solve this equation and hopefully get it done right. Basically, we are going to learn exponent laws today, product of a product rule, power of a power rule, product rule, and quotient rule, which we'll learn as we do the equation. First, we have to remember BEDMAS. BEDMAS is basically order of operations that we use to solve equations. And we use this in order. So we first solve what's in the brackets, then the exponents, division, multiplication, addition, and subtraction. And we have to keep that in mind when we solve this. And here we see many brackets, and the first bracket we're going to solve is this one. Alright, so here we have already encountered one of our exponent laws, power rule. Power rule is basically if you have a variable, in this case x, to an exponent, in this case x squared, to an exponent outside of a bracket, we multiply them. So in this case, x squared is being squared, so we get the answer of x to the power of 4. And now let's solve the equation. So first we have to square our negative 243. If we put this into a calculator, we should get 59,049. This in brackets, and x4 as we have discussed previously. And now we can solve what is in this bracket. In this bracket, there is 3 over 81, x4 to the power of 4, that is being cubed by a negative 3. I wouldn't know if that's being cubed or just being, it just has the exponent of negative 3. A negative exponent basically means that you reciprocate your number. In this case, we are reciprocating 81 and 3. x4 stays the same, and we are left with 3. We then can solve what is on the bottom. On the bottom we have negative 9x to the power of 6. In our calculator we can put in brackets so that we don't get a negative exponent. We can put negative 9 to the power of 6. And this is the number I end up with. Okay, and we have x6 as we have product of a product rule again. Imagine this is a 1, multiplied 6, we get 6. Okay, now we can solve all of this. Then this would equal 59,049x to the power of 4 times, then we can solve for this. This would equal 441 divided by 27 and x12 as we have done the power rule again. All over 441x to the power of 6. Then we can place down our numbers again and solve the division here by putting it into our calculator. Which leaves us with 19,683 x to the power of 12. All over 531,441 x to the power of 6. We can then multiply what is on top. Now we have encountered product rule. Product rule is basically when you're multiplying variables with exponents together, you add the exponents. Okay, so first let's multiply our coefficients. So if we do that, we should get, okay, let me just put this all into my calculator. We get a large number. We get 1,000,000, or is that a billion? Let's write this down. Yeah, that's definitely a billion. 1,160,000. I forgot the one. 261. Okay, I'm saying this number wrong. So basically, 1,162,261,467 is the number we should end up with. X16, as we should add these two together, all over 531,441 x to the power 6. Okay, now we have come to another exponent law. In this case, it is quotient rule. Quotient rule is basically when you are dividing two variables with exponents, you subtract them. So first let's solve for our coefficients. So our huge number, I have no idea why I deleted the number, but for our huge numbers, we should okay, so we got 2,187 x to the power of 10, as we have subtracted these, and we are left with this. But we're not done yet. We still have a whole other equation to solve. So we are going to solve this, and once we do, we are going to divide what we got previously by this. So let's just do this here separately. As we have discussed previously, anything to the power of 0 is going to equal 1. I also just realized that we do not need the 9 here. Let's ignore that. And then we multiply by our bracket here. So here we have encountered many things. So again, we have a negative exponent, and we have product for particle. So first, and when we have a negative exponent, we reciprocate. So then we get left with 729 x to the power 6 to the power 1, which is just 729. Basically, this means that we are dividing our number that we got by 729 x to the power of 6. So if we put this all into our calculator, 2187 divided by 729, we get 3. But we aren't done yet. We still have our variables. And like we discussed, this is quotient rule. Quotient rule basically means we subtract variables that have exponents. So we subtract, so we get 3x to the power of 4. And this is our final and simplified answer of our huge math equation here. Hopefully you were able to understand what I have discussed, and and I hope I didn't make any mistakes throughout the whole operation. Okay, thank you for listening.